What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. I wanted to recap. I was fortunate to be in Philly at Wells Fargo Saturday night for Boots and Bam. Hell of a card. A lot of local fighters on the card, which y'all know anything within a couple hour radius of me, I'm very supportive of. I want to see him do well. First up, Khalil Cole out of Jersey City, New Jersey, suffered his first defeat. Unfortunately, there's been a lot said about his first defeat. I won't give an opinion on what's been said with regards to his preparation because I was not in camp with him. I was not in the gym, so I can't intelligently speak to whether or not there's validity to the fact of him being out of shape and having a tough weight cut, but that was something that was said by his promoter, Eddie Hearn. With that being said, I've given Eddie Hearn a whole lot of praise on the way he talks up and promotes his fighters. I have to go opposite on this one. I understand being honest, and I respect honesty, but when it comes to your fighter or a fighter that's signed to you, which is a commodity to you, and it's in your best interest to present him in the best light possible for both of your benefit, I think he could have been a little less transparent and, just saying that, his fighter came up short, he'll make the necessary adjustments and be better next time. I don't think he had to throw his fighter under the bus by saying he was out of shape and had a horrible weight cut. Some things should stay in-house, just my personal opinion. If the fighter himself comes out and say it, that's different. But you can kind of put a fighter in a position where, they kind of feel like you're not really on the same team as them when you start publicly making statements like that. Everybody has dirty laundry. Everybody falls short at some point. And I don't think we need the people that are closest to us exposing that to the world. So like I said, it's a mixed bag, because on one hand, I can respect his honesty and transparency with the public. On the other hand, I think he has an onus to his fighter. I almost compare it to attorney-client privilege. There's things that happen in every camp that should not be spoken on outside of the camp professionally. That's just, my personal feelings again. But champ, Khalil Cole, I know you make the necessary adjustments. I feel there was some strategy shortcomings. I think he came out and boxed beautifully in the first round, worked behind that beautiful jab of his, set up his power shots, hurt and almost stopped his opponent. I think that gave him a false sense of security. He decided, it was going to be a short night. In the second round, he put up a high guard and tried to walk his man down, which for the most part, when you're fighting a Mexican, is not a good idea. They're usually very durable. They usually fight hard all night, and they're usually very strong on the inside. So I think he kind of played into the Mexican's hands in the second round by walking to him. Even though I feel like he still won the second round, had a slight edge, he got hit with a lot of big shots in that second round, got visibly hurt in the third, and never really recovered. And that's why I tell my fighters, you always start off boxing, because you can always go from boxing to banging, but it's hard to go from banging back to boxing, as illustrated in rounds 3-2. I think when it was stopped in the 10th, he was trying to go back to boxing when he could, but he just couldn't. It was already a firefight. It's kind of hard to go backwards from that. He did what he could, tried to, fend him off, one big shot here and there, but he just didn't have enough to sustain an attack to keep the fight, that fighter off him. Unfortunately, he was stopped, I think, in the 9th round. But like I said, Jersey's behind you, Khalil. You will be back. Big stepping again, big stepper. So, it's a minor setback for a major comeback. Then we have Camden's Ray Ford. Ray, you look phenomenal. I like the fact that we get an inside look into your camp out there in Houston with Shakur and his brother. And you had some Philly flavor with you this time. And Rasheem Jefferson, or as many know him, Boxing Rail, out there with you. And it looked, very good. You look strong. You look fast. Your first fight at 130, scored 2 knockdowns. No complaints. You look very well. Gave the hometown crowd a nice showing. Look forward to seeing more from you. Ammo Williams looked very exciting in stopping this man, not traditionally known as a puncher, but he looked like one the other night. I hadn't watched a whole lot of him before Saturday night, but hats off to you, Ammo Williams. He put the 160-pound division on notice. He looks like a major player there. Bam Rodriguez stole the show. I ain't gonna say a whole lot. KO, you was right. I had never watched Bam before. My first time seeing him fight was live Saturday night. Electrifying, great shot placement, great power. poise. He's a finisher. Nothing bad to say about Bam Rodriguez. He looked very well. Robert Garcia is doing a very good job with that young man. The main event, I'm a little disappointed, but not in Boots, in the fans. Boots brought big-time boxing back to Philadelphia as evidence where you haven't had, you know, a fight in your biggest indoor stadium, Wells Fargo Center, in its life until Jaron Boots Ennis. Wells Fargo Center is the house that Allen Iverson built. Allen Iverson turned pro in 96. So it's been back since before 96, the last time they had a major fight in the city of Philadelphia. Jaron Boots Ennis provided that, put several of his young guys on the card, and put on, to me, a dominant performance. Was it spectacular? No. Are we used to seeing spectacular performances from him? Yes, and I think that's why we're a little spoiled. But some guys don't have the type of style that allow you to look spectacular, and Karen Shikazin is one of them. But I do feel like he's still dominated. But having to hear people in his hometown say stuff like, I ain't coming back to see Boots no more, he ain't it. He keep him away from Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford had the same type of performance last time I checked against the same type of opponent, and nobody said anything. So, I mean, I think we're putting too much into it. Did he get the knockout? No. Did he dominate? Yes. Did he get hit with some stuff he probably shouldn't have got hit with? Yes. But I think he'll be a better fighter for it. Great fight, Boots. Again, fighters now got to light themselves on fire to impress the public, I guess. We're a little too harsh, but that's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.